Uh, I like looking at birds because the first thing you see when you're in a pram is probably birds flying around, and I think they're one of those weird things there, and it's the last thing you see before uh, the noose drops. Do you want me to start again? Well, what I was interested in is scrolling, probably on the wallpaper or the floor with a crayon, and drawing what I liked looking at, which was birds. I mean, I liked birds originally, I suppose, as a child. And I'm guessing here, because you don't know, I'm trying to think that far back, because they're weird. They're unlike humans. Birds are just like the absolute opposite of humans, really, but things that we'd like to be like to fly and eat seed. When I grew up in the country, there was a lot of birds around, and I was interested in not just birds but wildlife and natural history in general. And you draw, if you like drawing, what you know and what you like. So two gelled. Well, what can you expect from this show is some birds primarily, and I suppose if I always think, and I always say to people, if you paint what you know and understand and love, and one of my loves is birds. I paint every day for at least 4 hours, and then I go out looking at birds. I go out, striding around the countryside. So you can see my affection for my subject. I started painting birds more recently. I've not always painted birds kind of intensely. I change, I move around subjects. But the birds, the way I do them is I'll go out and see them. And I see a lot of people out there now with huge camera lenses. And I'm the only one, I think, who goes home and paints them. So I go out and see them. Let's say I see a curlew, I will go home and I'll cobble together. That's not a technical term, cobbling together from various other pictures on Photoshop, the bird that I want, the stance that I want. Well, what they call it is, in ornithological terms, is it's jizz, which means that it's the way it looks and its behavior. The sort of feelings that I want to evoke from looking at this is, that's a nice painting. I like that bird. I wonder what that bird's doing and what it's thinking. And then you move into a crepuscular room. Crepuscular meaning as the light dims down, it's not completely nocturnal, it's kind of like twilight. So you go in there, I want to give it a feeling. And I've got some music in there by Olivia Messiaen, which is quite, not disturbing, but it's going to evoke some kind of feelings of nighttime and unsureness. Let me say that. Not fear, not frightening. It's just going to go, this is what a lot of birds live in. And then you come out of that room and then you emerge into the final room, which will be very bright and should kind of change the feelings of people. I'm not looking to really change people's feelings. I'm just thinking, enjoy it, have a nice time, make your own mind up and make your own feelings up. There's so many birds in the world that, I have seen quite a lot, most of the ones in Britain, although not all of them. And but I'd like to go, and the birds that I've only ever seen in nature documentaries, Birds of Paradise, which I'm not that knowledgeable about, but I'd like to go and see them, become more knowledgeable, paint them, because I've got a kind of thing, which is, I don't know, it's a strange thing. I will only paint birds that I've actually seen, and I've never painted anything that I haven't seen. So I'd go and find maybe some of those birds of paradise, or condors. I'd like to see condors. I've seen the liver birds on the roof of the liver building, and I know there's lots of different stories. I was told a story once that they were commissioned and it was supposed to be a phoenix, but it didn't. It ended up not looking like a phoenix, and hence was called a liver bird. Other stories I've heard is that they're cormorants, which are the bird of Liverpool. So I've incorporated two cormorants within my show. They're painted sitting on a brutalist building, not the liver building, but I've incorporated them. But yes, liver birds, there they are. I think if I was going to be any bird, I'd probably be a bird of prey. So I was guaranteed survival. And also, I think I've always thought it's quite incredible that you get something like an eagle, which should be able to see for a mile and a half at least, spot a rabbit from a mile and a half away. I mean, you can't even that concept is totally alien and understandable to us. So I'd do that, but only for an hour. To be here at the Lady Lever Gallery it's a really, really big deal, and I didn't realise how many great works of art there are in here. It's some brilliant pre-Raphaelite paintings. There's some. One of the paintings when I was at art school. There's the scapegoat in there, and so I walked straight in and saw the scapegoat and went, "Look!" I spent like hours looking at that in a book at art school, and there it is in front of me. So, yeah, I'm exhibiting amongst the greats, and I never really thought that when I was looking at that picture of the scapegoat, I'd be exhibiting next to it in such a fantastic gallery and an amazing area. The whole area is a bit gobsmacking me. I've been gobsmacking. I think it's brilliant, man. I really like it.